you. We move on to the Biodiversity Fund project applications and fund update, and I'll hand this over to Pauline Turner because actually I think I'll hand it over to Pauline Cotter. I don't remember her and Andrew getting married, but if Pauline would like to introduce this item, because this is a matter that would have gone to her committee. I'm turning off my microphone now.
Good idea.
Thank you. All right, so this Biodiversity Fund is a City Council partnership which provides match funding of up to $40,000 per project to support and encourage initiatives that protect and enhance the biodiversity in Christchurch and on Banks Peninsula. I assume you're hearing me okay now? Yep. So today we've got a list of the 7 projects here that are being recommended. The fund is a total fund of $200,000 a year. We've already allocated some of it through the committee earlier on, and this will clean up the rest of that fund for this financial year. It's a very, I think this is an incredibly important fund that we help this biodiversity which is under threat. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting comment in the report, as you'll see, but I mean things like you know, the rocky outcrops on the Port Hills, they have a naturally rare ecosystem, and that's very, very critically endangered, and they're probably little things that we wouldn't normally even notice when we're walking around, but the botanists do certainly know that they're there. So we're protecting the indigenous species of both flora and fauna, a lot of the things that we don't know that they're there. So also what I found was interesting that they'll be using abseiling experts in pest control to actually abseil down the hills and deal with these invasive species. So what we're doing here is we're actually being proactive rather than waiting until a problem area gets completely out of control. And it's all about building defence against these invasive species, like the spur valerian, which sounds really evil. It's a little plant that takes over. And we've also got things like the Banks Peninsula forget-me-not, which is very endangered as well. So on page 68 you can see a table of the projects that are recommended in this fund and all the detail about them. You can also see the projects that have been completed, and you can also see the projects that are in process. So yes, on that note, I'm fully supportive of this program with private landowners, and would seek on this number to move it.
Somebody's put us on hold, but we'll just try and deal with that. James has got a question, but I've actually got Jimmy Chen, who used the email system. I think, is James indicating that you'd like to move it? No. Okay. You've got questions, right? You'll send something through.
Well, I moved it. I think James seconded it.
Oh, yeah. James is seconding it. His fingers were facing it the way that they should have been facing, and I interpreted them the other way. So, sorry. Okay. So, Jimmy Chen, you have a question.
Okay. My question is those for funding for 7 projects, but actually each application funding is 100%, but our for funding only about 50%. How about those 7 projects, whether they already got or received the other funding of the source of funding already or not yet?
This is for staff to answer, perhaps, if I'm not sure who's online for this one. Is it Clive?
Yes, I'm here, Clive Appleton, Team Leader for Natural Environment. I'm just trying to understand the question. We've got
He's asking you
projects.
to confirm that the co-payment is available from the other funding sources.
From what other funding sources? Sorry, yes, yes, sorry. And, yes, they are available.
Yep. Yep. The answer is yes,
okay.
Jimmy.
Yes, okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions? So the resolution's been moved and seconded. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. Was that a no? No? All right, so that's carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Clive. That was quick also.